So today we're going to be doing a video on Pete and Pedro Rebel, which is one of their first fragrances from the brand. If you're unfamiliar with this brand, basically they primarily focus on hair products. So they have different styling clays, they have pomades, they have like a sea salt spray, and they also have like shampoo, conditioners, and other types of hair related products. And they just recently came out with this fragrance. Again, this is their first ever fragrance, and it's called Rebel. This is an eau de parfum spray. Take a quick look at the box as well. It's not a bad looking box. I like the gold lettering on the front. So in this video, we're going to check this fragrance out. I'm going to give you my full review on it, my full thoughts on it, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. A couple things before we get started. First, if you've tried this fragrance, let me know what you think of it down below. Be curious to know your guys' thoughts. Second thing is, if you're new here to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Also, turn on post notifications and give this video a like. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's go and jump into this. And I do quickly want to mention as well, they gave you guys a coupon code to use. It's Chaos15. That gets you 15% off anything on their website. So you can use that, grab yourself a bottle of Rebel, and again, you'll get 15% off, Chaos15. That'll expire here in a couple weeks, so if you want to pick anything up and you want to get a discount, make sure to do that before it expires. Let's start off with the opening of this fragrance. What I get right in the opening is a nice tart bergamot note mixing in with some pineapple. So just to kind of be upfront and tell you right away, this is a fragrance that smells like Creed Aventus. And that was something that I noticed as soon as I first sprayed it on. The pineapple is nice and vibrant. The bergamot is tart, a little bit sour. It just kind of makes its presence known. There's also just a little bit of a spicy kick in the opening as well. As it starts to dry down on my skin, I start to notice that the pineapple note turns a little bit more citric. So in the opening, it's a little bit more vibrant and juicy, slightly sweet. Does start to go more citric as it dries down, and then again working into the dry down, I start to pick up on a lot more of a woodiness, a little bit of a slight herbal quality as well. So from the opening to dry down, it does resemble Creed Aventus quite a bit, and there have been a number of Aventus smelling fragrances that have been released here within the past multiple years. Fragrances like Mont Blanc Explorer, that's one that was released this year. I'm not a huge fan of Mont Blanc Explorer, and I'll tell you straight up right now, I prefer this one over Mont Blanc Explorer any day of the week. You know, and I've told you this before, I just don't like Explorer that much. It's just too dry for me, and it really doesn't capture kind of the essence of Aventus, I guess. But this one gets a lot closer to it than a lot of these other Aventus smelling fragrances have, like Mont Blanc Explorer, for example. This one is really nice. So you got that nice pineapple bergamot opening up top, moving into a little bit of a woodiness, a slight herbal quality, and this like oak moss and patchouli type of smell in the dry down. So this is kind of, again, an Aventus fragrance. It does get pretty close to that scent DNA. There are some differences in between the two. There's, some different things about Rebel that makes this its own. It just kind of blended a little bit differently. The way that the pineapple comes across mixing with the bergamot is different. So there are similarities, but there's also some differences as well. And I find that to be the case with a lot of Aventus smelling fragrances out there. So being that this fragrance is called Rebel, it kind of gives you an idea of what this scent smells like. It's meant to be like a masculine dominating fragrance, something to make you smell like a rebel, like a bad boy, just like a man. That's really probably more likely than not their thought process behind this fragrance, and I think this type of scent DNA is perfect for that picture or what they're trying to represent with the name Rebel. This is very masculine. It doesn't lean unisex at all, so the name fits perfect because there are a lot of men's fragrances out there that do go kind of in the unisex feminine direction, so you really kind of have to be careful with how you name fragrances. But this, being that's called a Rebel, you expect something strong, masculine in your face, and this one fits the bill perfectly. So let's go and talk about when you can wear Rebel. And to be honest, it's pretty simple. You can wear this for about anything. If you're going on a date, you can wear it. If you're doing something a little bit dressed up, you can wear it. If you're just hanging out casually, you can wear it as well. In terms of seasons, any time of the year. This DNA is very versatile. You don't have to think about it. You don't really have to worry about it. It's kind of one of those fragrances that you can just grab, spray it on, and just hit the door. It's that easy. It's that simple. It doesn't take, a fragrance enthusiast or anything to try to determine when you can wear this. So if you're a guy that isn't that deep into fragrances, you don't know a whole lot about them, you're not like an expert, you just want something that smells good and that's going to get you compliments, this is the type of thing that you would want to go for. And on top of that, it's something that you can wear any time of the year for any situation. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of different fragrances. You can just grab this one and it's going to fit basically any situation that you throw at it. So let's go and talk about the performance on this one. This is kind of where it can get a little bit tricky because fragrances like this cause olfactory fatigue relatively easily. I get olfactory fatigue from Aventus. I get olfactory fatigue from a lot of other fragrances, like, for example, ambroxan-based fragrances, Dior Sauvage, a lot of the other blue fragrances. So that is a thing. Olfactory fatigue, for those of you who don't know, is when your nose starts to tune out a certain smell. So it's basically just, you can't control it. It just keeps your senses from getting overloaded. So this type of fragrance will cause that. So you have to keep that in mind when you're testing the performance of this. So what do I get in terms of performance overall? Longevity on my skin, I'm getting on average about 7 to 8 hours. Projection, it pushes out well out of my personal bubble. This one doesn't fill up a whole room, but it does make itself known. It does push out to the point where people can smell me without getting right up on me. So projection is pretty good and longevity is really solid as well. I would say overall performance is really well rounded and it's really respectable. There are certain situations where you would want a fragrance that is a skin scent, and there are certain situations where you'd want a fragrance that fills up a whole room, and this one kind of rides right in the middle. So again, that kind of adds to the versatility factor that this one has. So it's going to last you through a whole work day or through a whole school day, and it's going to get you noticed in the process. So let's go and talk about the compliment factor on this fragrance, and it's going to be a really good compliment getter. I had my girlfriend check this one out when I got it in the mail because she's a big fan of Aventus, and she really liked this one a lot. So that's more likely than not going to be your experience across the board. When women smell this, they're probably really going to like it. And honestly, it's going to be the same with guys. A lot of dudes are probably going to smell this on you. They're going to want to know what it is so they can pick it up for themselves. It's just one of those fragrances that has such a mass appeal to it. And again, this DNA has been proven to work. This isn't something that is like completely new and different to where it has to be tested a bunch to see if people like it. This DNA, again, it's out there, it's working. People still love it even to this day. And by the way, if you heard my dog barking in the background, I apologize. So to sum it up there, compliments overall are going to be great. You're not going to have to worry about it with this one. If you're wearing it to school, if you're wearing it to work, you're going to get positive attention. This would be, again, a great fragrance to wear to work, a great fragrance to wear to school. If you're a somewhat younger guy and you want to grab something and wear it to school to get compliments and to get positive feedback, this is one of those fragrances that's going to do really, really well. So let's go ahead and start to wrap this one up. In summary, I really, really enjoy this one a lot more than I was honestly expecting because, again, there are a lot of fragrances out there that kind of go in the Aventus direction, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all of them do a good job. Again, Mont Blanc Explorer, that fragrance, I don't like that one. There's a few others that have been released that have just been okay. But to me, in my personal opinion, this one really does a really nice job at it. They really took a shot at it and they nailed it with this. I really wouldn't find anything that I would personally change. Performance is great on me. The smell overall is nice on me. It comes across really high quality. It doesn't come across cheap or anything like that. It smells like a quality fragrance, like in that designer quality range, so really good there. Not much I would change, and honestly, like I said, I think they killed it. This is a really great release for their first ever fragrance. So again, if you want to pick up Pete and Pedro Rebel or any of their other products, again, hair care, you got hair styling products, you got shampoos. Pretty sure they have beard care as well, I think. They got a bunch of stuff on their website. So if you want to pick anything up, use the code CHAOS15 takes 15% off your entire order. So that's going to expire in a couple weeks, so go use it before it's too late. And that's going to do it for this review, guys. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Pete and Pedro for getting this out to me so I can try it and review it here on the channel. Hopefully you guys watching learned something from this. Maybe you'll want to pick this one up and try it out. So as always, thank you for watching. And that's it for me, guys. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.